Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Raise your hand if you think this is going to come back to bite you. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Well, that's a moment that'll be locked in, and no matter who of that bunch, if it's that bunch there, gets the Democratic nomination. Each and every single one on the stage last night saying that their health care plans would provide coverage for illegals. The former New Mexico Republican governor, Susana Martinez, on all of that. Governor, that's a moment they can't take back.
It's not a moment they can take back, and that is what has become a magnet for illegal immigrants to come to the United States. It's all the free stuff that is being advertised by either the cartels or the folks that are bringing people from other countries to the United States. Free health care, free higher education, minimum wage jobs at $15, on and on and on. It is unsustainable, and it is pure and simple. It is socialism.
Well, you know, the one thing, whether you're for or against this sort of thing, a lot of them say we ought to do this on humanitarian grounds, whatever, it's a right and all of that, and we can argue that forever. But they must know, in so stating this, that it's one more reason for folks to come to this country or try to get into this country any way they can, right?
It is. I mean, and that's what's being advertised right now on radio stations and with flyers in Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras. They're passing out flyers that say you can get free health care, you can get free education in college, you can get all kinds of freebies if you make your way and pay me, the cartel, to get you to the United States and become one of those that is released into the United States, because all these freebies are going to be available to you. Americans will end up paying for it. Finally, every one of us will pay for that kind of a benefit.
You know, I'm wondering if you don't mind my switching, Governor, on this $4.6 billion measure that's meant to sort of shore up, these conditions along the border, including feeding and housing of these kids and those who have come here, not to mention providing more manpower, border officials to deal with this and the regular job they have to do, which is policing the border. What do you think about it?
You know, finally, here we are, June 30th, and we are barely coming to the realization that that bill had to pass. On July 1, they're going to run out of money. It's unfortunate that it comes down to the wire to finally do the supplemental funding of $4.6 billion to ensure that we have the proper food, diapers, clothing, shelter, et cetera, for the individuals that we have in those shelters, but also the manpower that comes with it. They're inside of these shelters doing things that they were not hired to do. These are brave men and women on the border. Doing their job on the border is what they should be doing as law enforcement officers. And instead, 60–70% of them are being pulled to be in these shelters doing things that they weren't trained to do.
But now we've got this measure, to your point, that does, or hopefully will, ameliorate that and address the needs of even the very folks who are protesting today, dissatisfied with this measure, that it doesn't go far enough and doesn't protect kids enough. What did you think of that?
You know, I think that doing the best job that is absolutely possible. You cannot release unaccompanied children and just open the doors and say, come back whenever your hearing is. They have to be held in a location where they are safe and fed and have a roof over over them overnight. The problem is going to be, it's a Band-Aid. It's a supplemental funding. It is not overall reform of the immigration bill or the laws of asylum.
All right, Governor, hopefully cooler heads prevail, and at least there's some progress there. Very good having you. Have a very good weekend, Governor.
You too.